Hey, I'm Adam Jusko, and this is Strictly Credit Cards, where we talk about strictly credit cards. Subscribe, why don't you? In this video, we are going to look at the Citi Double Cash Card, a cashback card with a winning formula that surprisingly none of the other big banks have decided to just simply copy. This card hasn't changed a whole lot since it was first introduced. A few changes that we're going to look at in this video, but none of the other big banks have said, hey, look what they're doing, and kind of jumped in to compete directly with it. So it hasn't changed too much. However, we are going to look at what it offers and kind of where it sits in the market, who it competes with, and what else is out there that you might look at. So the Citi Double Cash Card is a no annual fee card that essentially gives you 2% cash back on everything that you purchase with the card. Now I say essentially because the way Citi structures its rewards, you earn the first 1% when you make the purchase with the card. You earn that second 1% when you have paid off that purchase. So if you are someone that always pays off your credit card purchases every month in full, you're essentially going to realize your 2%, the full 2% that you're going to get back on this card every month. You're not going to have really much lag time here, and it's going to feel like a 2% card like I just said. However, if you are someone that revolves the balance, you're going to get that 1% on the front end, but you may not get that other 1% for a little while, because until you have paid off the purchase, you're not getting the other 1%. It's kind of ingenious in a way because Citi knows that you are going to have some motivation to pay off your credit card purchases because you want that second 1% in rewards. So you have some incentive to pay it, and they know they don't have to give you that second 1% rewards until you actually do make the payment. So you're motivated to pay, and they've got a little protection on the back end if you don't pay. So you're getting that 2% across the board, no categories to think about. As long as you've paid off your purchases, you're going to get that full 2%. By the way, you don't get 2% on any interest that you pay, so there's no incentive for you to revolve the balance on that end. But this is what has made the card very popular. It's super easy to understand. It's 2% on everything, which is fairly generous. You don't have to think too much about it. And if you're someone that doesn't want to think too much about your credit cards, this one fits the bill. Now, if you're someone that likes to shop around for credit cards, and in particular you like to shop around for credit card bonuses, well, there's nothing to see here because this card does not offer an upfront bonus. On very rare occasions you might see one, but in general there's not any bonus on this card. So what they give you in everyday rewards, they sort of don't give you in terms of a new card holder bonus. And there are plenty of cards out there that'll give you $150, $200, or airline miles or hotel points or whatever in order to get you into their card. And so those cards sort of pay you on the front end. This card sort of pays you over the long haul. So it's really your decision which is better. A lot of people love the, sort of psychology of 2% on everything, but in some cases getting that big upfront bonus on a different credit card might actually work out better for you financially. Now, there's a number of ways to actually redeem the cash that you have earned from this card. You can get a statement credit, which means they subtract it from the balance on your credit card statement. You can get an actual paper check sent to you. You can have it direct deposited into your bank account. Any of those three options are going to require you to have earned at least $25 in cash back before they're going to give you that statement credit or the check or the direct deposit. The fourth option is to take the cash back that you have earned and convert it into Citi thank you points at a penny a point. Now, when it first happened that they sort of changed this card and made it so that you could change your cash back into Citi's thank you points, some people were pretty excited because Citi had the Citi Premier card where you could potentially take the money and make it into points, and then you could even get a little boost on it if you used those points toward travel through Citi's travel portal, but that card has taken that away. So now, turning your cash back into points off of this card, there's a lot less incentive to do so. Yes, you can use it for other things like gift cards or other rewards, but none of those are really giving you any better than just straight cash back would. So that's not nearly as attractive as it seemed when Citi first made this an option. In terms of rates and fees on this card, as I've said already, it is a no annual fee card. Interest rate could be anywhere from 13.99% to 23.99%. As I'm making this video, those are the interest rates that are posted. If you have a very good credit history, you could get down by that 13.99%. If you don't have as good of a credit history, but they're willing to accept you, you could get that 23.99% rate or somewhere in between. Now, there's no 0% offer on new purchases, so you're going to be having that interest rate from the beginning. Now, there is a 0% offer on balance transfers on this card, at least as I make this video, but you need to be very careful about it. So as I make this video, you can transfer a balance onto this card and get a 0% interest rate on those transferred balances for 18 months. The downside to this, well, there's actually two downsides to it. The first downside is that you'll have to pay a 3% balance transfer fee up front in order to move the balance from another card onto this one to get that 0% rate. But the second downside is the fact that the way Citi structures it, any new purchases that you make on this card, if there is a balance sitting there that you transferred from another card, they're going to start charging you interest on those new purchases from the date you make them. So they're not going to give you any grace period if you have a balance sitting on the card from a balance transfer. So you might be getting 0% on the transferred balance, but you're going to be getting the regular interest rate on the purchases you make, and that is going to happen immediately, or at least it's going to happen after the first month that you have the card, unless you pay everything off all at once, including the balance that you have transferred. So as far as I can remember, Citi is the only bank I have seen who sort of pulls this, what I consider to be a sneaky trick, tell you you're going to get a 0% rate on your balance transfers, but then charge you interest on your new purchases if you actually use the card. So it doesn't really make any sense to transfer a balance onto this card. Maybe you could save a few bucks if you had a huge balance on a card with a really terrible interest rate, but I would say probably you shouldn't fall for it. Other things to know, 3% foreign transaction fee with this card. If you use it outside of the United States, you're going to get charged an extra 3% on those purchases. There are plenty of other cards on the market that do charge this same 3% foreign transaction fee, but there also are plenty of cards with no annual fee even that don't charge it at all. So this is sort of an extra fee that there's not a real point to have other than it makes Citi some extra money. This card has some other benefits to know about. You have a free credit score that comes from Equifax once a month. It is a bank card score. If you think of credit scores and you know that they normally go up to 850, the bank card score actually goes up to 900. So you're going to be seeing a little bit different credit score than you might from some other services out there. So that's something to know. You have the option for using virtual credit card numbers, which allows you to sort of mask your credit card number. So whatever merchant you're using it with is seeing a temporary credit card number that gets tied back to your real card, and it sort of helps you to not have fraudulent purchases. Nobody can get your actual credit card number if you use that virtual card number. ShopRunner membership. This is a free membership that you can use to get free shipping with certain merchants that are in the ShopRunner network. Now, this Citi Double Cash will come either as a World Mastercard or as a World Elite Mastercard, and that will depend on your credit history, which one they give you. At least that's how I believe it still works. It really doesn't matter, because if you know anything about some of the extra benefits that might come as a World or World Elite Mastercard holder, you might know that oftentimes there are certain travel insurances, extended manufacturer's warranties, and things like that that will come with a card that is a World or World Elite Mastercard, but Citi stripped all of those benefits out. This card used to have them. They took them all away about a year to a year and a half ago as I'm making this video, much to the chagrin of many people that saw those things get stripped out from them when they had the card. So you're not going to get any of those extra benefits. For a lot of people, that doesn't matter. They never used those benefits. They barely knew they had them. But if that's something you're looking for and you see that this card is a World or World Elite Mastercard, you're not going to get that stuff. All right, so looking at this card overall, specifically with that 2% flat cash back reward, as I said at the beginning of the video, it is interesting that none of the other major card companies have matched that flat 2% rate. There are a couple of other cards on the market, PayPal Cashback, Mastercard, the Fidelity Rewards Visa, and there are some credit union cards out there also that can match that 2%. But this is from the major big banks. Citi here with the double cash has really sort of had this market to themselves. So it is kind of interesting that nobody else has jumped in. Now, this is a no annual fee card, and there are plenty of other no annual fee cards on the market where you can't get that 2% flat cash back on everything, but you can do better in certain categories. So you could get 3%, 4%, sometimes even 5% on things like shopping and gas and dining and that sort of thing. So if you are someone who is willing to carry more than one card, this card may be sort of the bedrock, and this is exactly the way that I use this card. I kind of use this as my backstop. If I can get more than 2% with some other cards that I hold out there on the market, well, then I will use those other cards for gas or for dining or for shopping. But if I can't get 2%, it goes on here. And so that's a way that makes sense to use it. There's plenty of other cards, like I said, that don't have an annual fee either. So you can carry multiple cards and get those extra multiples in those certain categories. But this is a great card to have as sort of a foundation, a bedrock, if you're sort of building a cash back, or even if you want some cash back and some travel rewards. If you're not going to get what you consider to be at least the equivalent of 2% on a purchase with some other card, this would be the one to go to. Sometimes people ask me what credit card they should get, but they don't really tell me much about what their spending is or what their preferences are in terms of what rewards they want. They just think I'm going to have an answer that is always at the top of my head. And that answer that I give them, even though it's not necessarily the right answer, depending on how they actually would use their credit card, but I tell them this is the card because I know that that 2% is going to make them content. If they want to do more homework, they can find other cards that they could either pair with this or maybe get instead of it. But this is always going to be a decent starting place. No one is going to be unhappy if they have this card and they're getting 2% back. So that's it. Even after a few years on the market, Citi still has a little bit of a monopoly in terms of having the best flat cash back card, at least among the big banks. They've stripped away the bonus. They've stripped away some of those extra benefits that some of the other cards give you, and they've put all that money into giving you that everyday 2% rate. And until one of the other big banks really comes out strong with their own 2% card, you can imagine that the Citi Double Cash is going to continue to be very popular. So that's it. Any questions, comments, put them in the comments section. Otherwise, I thank you for watching. Please subscribe. We'll talk to you soon.